If you wish making baby formula was as easy as using a Keurig, then this is going to change your life. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. This is a baby Brezza, and they actually make a few different products, but this is kind of their high-end product here, and this is basically an automatic baby formula maker. You can see here we have the powder formula in there, then there's a water reservoir, and you just hit the button, and it makes warmed up infant formula right away. So what I want to do here is get this thing set up and try it out. All right, now I was flipping through the instructions on this bad boy here, and one of the things that I will tell you is that right up here, the powder container, so where you will put your powdered infant formula, is already assembled. So a lot of this that is already in the instructions, you don't have to deal with unless you're going to take this apart and clean it. Now, I want to show you here up at the top, this thing will twist open. You can see there are little locks there, and then this will lift out. So that is the top, and now this will kind of release away from that little axle in there. Those two have to mesh up. When you're putting this back in, kind of keep in mind that it might not fall in. You might have to rotate this a little bit. But when you pull this out, mine was already assembled. So you have this top blade here. You have this little cutter right here, which actually goes into this opening. So you can see here that there is a little slot here where that piece will sit in there, and that holds that in place. So even though everything in here might rotate, this piece will stay static, and then this is the measuring unit. So this will drop the powder down into the container here. So right now, you don't have to do anything with this because it's already assembled. This thing will click in on the top, and I haven't pulled this apart, but I think you can kind of pull this up, and then all these pieces will come away. You do not want to dishwash this in the dishwasher. So especially this outer plastic container right here, because I think it might warp underneath the heat. So one thing I would say here is if you do want to clean this up, I would do it by hand. If you're going to take it apart, that's great. You can do that by hand, but at least this outer piece you are not going to want to put in the dishwasher. There is a little tab in the back that's going to index with that, and then like I said, you can see that it's not sitting in there. And so what I want to do here is just kind of play with the auger here until I get the little axle pieces to mesh up, and then this will fit in there. And then I'm going to take this, and then I'm just going to line up that little tab there, put that in, and then twist that in. Now, the other thing that you have here is the little dispenser here, and what I've noticed is that you pull it out and then it drops down. So you actually have two pieces here, this upper piece, and that is where I think the powder is going to go, and then it will drop water in there too, and then it will come through this little funnel. So you want to press these all together just like this, and then to put this back in, you are going to put that up into the hole there. You don't want to push that all the way up in there, and then push this back and in, and that will hold that in place. The other piece that I had to find in the box, so I didn't realize that it was not with the device here, it was still in the bottom of the box, is this little catch here. So you can see they have a little opening there, and then we have 4 slots, so I can put it down here if I'm making a big bottle. But if you're making a small bottle, you don't want it to splash around. You put that in there, then you can put your small bottle right up there. And then on the back side, we have the water reservoir. So this is kind of like your Keurig. You will just kind of pull this out. It's going to kind of pivot out just like that. There are these little pins on the side here that hold it in. And now what we have is this water reservoir, so you're gonna fill that up. That is the max line, that is the minimum line, and then you're just going to put it back in like this. And once that's filled, and then lock it into place up at the top here. Just like that. All right, so let's talk about operation of this bad boy. First of all, we have to clean it. If you have a brand new one, there is a procedure here, and you want to make sure that it is safe. So I'm going to take out the water reservoir here, fill it with water, and put it back. And now I have it plugged in here, and you can see that it has some information, and we have all our buttons here. Powder setting, water only, temp, how much you want it to dispense, the ounces, and then start, and then the power button. Now, the first thing it says to do is just to run some water through here. So all I'm gonna do is actually use just a regular cup, and it looks like it's just a little too big for this. And just go ahead and press some water through here. So I'm just gonna hit the water only. So I got this little error right there, and what I found is that this was not closed completely. You really have to twist it, and there's a final little click that happens when you get it there. So I'm going to hit water only again here, And now, just kind of like a Keurig, it is dispensing water. And this is really just to kind of flush everything out and just make sure that it works here. Now, I do want to show you that as it's dispensing the water here, it's kind of swirling it in this thing. It's a little bit of like a cyclone vacuum, and I think that is partially to help mix it when you put the formula in there. All right, now that we've done that, we can actually take this apart here and clean it. So I'm going to do a pretty thorough cleaning. The first thing that we're going to do here is open this top back up here. And then we're going to disassemble this. Now, this outer container, like I said, you can't wash in the dishwasher. These interior pieces you might be able to, but I'm just gonna do them by hand here for speed. And this little stir at the top here, you wanna pull out. So I'm just gonna kind of grab it by the fins here and use my thumb to kind of brace it against the bottom here and just pull up on it, and it clicks out just like that. You can kind of see it presses on. And now all these other pieces here should just kind of lift out. You gotta pull that out from underneath that tab. And then this piece, which is the measuring piece, I think this will just kind of lift out too. It's actually a little hard to grab. You kind of grab it in this little opening here. It's actually a little hard to grab. I'm kind of grabbing it by the middle there, but you could probably just pull out this whole container and dump it out like that. All right, so I'm gonna get all of these pieces and the water reservoir in the back cleaned up, and then we'll try it out. All right, got all the parts here washed, let them dry, and then we're gonna start making some formula. All right, all the parts are clean. Time to put everything back together. I think this should be pretty straightforward here. So what I want to do is put this back together. You can see there's a little notch where this little nipple will stick through there. So it should be kind of foolproof. So I'm just going to press these together. And now this piece goes kind of up and then in. So you just kind of push that up into there and then push it all the way to the back. Easier with two hands. All right, now the powder reservoir here, that's going to just drop in here. Now, what you might notice is it might not fall into place. So if it does, and you just kind of wiggle it back and forth, but you want to make sure that that tab is set in there. Now you're going to take this measuring blade, that's kind of what I call it because it looks like it, and you're just going to drop that in the bottom, and you got to make sure that it slides around there. And then you're going to take the scraper here, and this big tab is going to go in that little opening right there. So you're gonna make sure that that goes in there, and then you're going to drop it down on top of there. And then you're going to take the spinning wheel and put it down there and push it down till it clicks. And then this top will go on, and it's just going to offset just a little bit here while it goes down in there. And then you can twist it all the way closed. And you want to make sure that is fully closed before you start using the Brezza. Okay, so water reservoir filled. Go ahead and slide that in and clip it in. All right, let's go ahead and grab the Enfamil here. Now, on the website for Baby Brezza, they actually have a lookup here. So what you'll have to do is go on their site and select the type of powder formula that you have. I have the Enfamil infant formula. This is for 0 to 12. You can confirm all that is right, and then it will tell you which setting to use. In this case, it's setting number 4. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and fill up this top reservoir. I'm going to pour in some formula here. You want to make sure that you are above that minimum line, but not above that maximum line. Starts coming out there pretty quick. Kind of looks like powdered milkshake. Smells delicious. I might actually have some of this myself. Top goes back on here, just like this, and then you want to make sure that that is closed and locked. Okay, now I have one of my bottles here. It's actually a little too tall to slide under like that, so I'm just going to angle it in. I think that'll help prevent it from splashing. All right, the power is on here, and then again, powdered setting. As you can see, we can scroll all the way up to 10. The higher the number, the more powder it's gonna have. So if you have to make an adjustment, you can do that. But as you can see there, it's on 4, setting 4, that's what I want. I don't want water only. I want the temperature here just to be, low. Actually, this is kind of room temperature water, so I'm not too worried about that. And then you will select how many ounces you want dispensed right here, so 4 ounces, and then start is right here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hit start, and what we will see is it starts spinning, measuring out that powder, and dispensing it instantly into the bottle here. And that looks pretty good, and I know that Baby Brezza on their website says that they do a lot of research to make sure that all of these powders are measured and super accurate. So that looks pretty good. Didn't have to shake up anything, and that was instantaneous. So if you have a crying baby, you can feed them instantly here. So I'm going to put a nipple on here and see if we can make him happy. So this is the Baby Brezza. The baby seems to like it. It is quick, it is easy, it will bring the cost down on formula for you. So if you are buying bottled formula, that is very expensive. It's large, it's hard to store, but something like this means that you don't have to wait to heat up formula that's been sitting in the fridge. You can dispense exactly what you need. It's a lot cheaper to buy it in this form here. So I know that these things are not cheap. At $200, it's probably something you're thinking, well, is that really something I need? I mean, I can just use the scooper. I can look at how much water it requires here. I can scoop it out, shake it up on the bottle myself. You can absolutely do that, but something like this is gonna make sure that mixture is right every time. And I think sometimes you're just gonna be so tired, so exhausted, waking up in the middle of the night. This guy's gonna be your friend. So if you wanna pick up the Baby Brezza for yourself, I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda. Out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.